We're greeted with a scene in the Japanese forest, and the scenery shows us some solemn family going about their days. They're just doing chores like collecting water and tending to a baby, the most everyday bro stuff. You can see the wife tends to hurt children inside the house while the husband does some other chores that I was too lazy to notice. Then Sud, what's that he didn't say yet? Violently shout at your monitor. Watching this, I want to say don't worry, he'll say it later, trust me. Hanzo hears the baby's cry and slowly walks back home, beginning to taste his mortality. He slowly limps towards the cries but fades into fire. Then we have this guy. He then approaches the Asashi residence and finds a baby. That's what happens when you don't pay your bills. This is our main squeeze for the entire movie. Always rely on Colgan. Human punching bag. Colvin asks who he's fighting for. 200 Old Yeller says someone named Ramirez, and Cole gains the upper hand. But like Amelia's rage player, he lets his guard down. And just as suddenly as the random black guy entered during the fight, we are transported to a very otherworldly location. The prophecy is upon us just barely. That fatality was as good as MK4. Since there is no prophecy, I hope you discover new fatalities, since Hanzo is a ghost, especially now that you've been tasked with killing all the champions before the tournament even begins. Back to Cole, he packs up, pays his respects to his opponent, and notices his daughter fidgeting with something. You've got there. That something turns out to be a friendship bracelet his daughter made for him. He thanks his daughter and puts it on. Suddenly Cole Young, the man who took the belt from Eddie Tobias, this is Jax, and he seems to. Cole awakens, and Kano informs him that it is time for everyone to leap. Sonya notices that this is Cole's first time committing low-tier god, and they land safely and begin to cover the land quickly enough, though Kano gets tired and wants a break while the others want to keep going. Kino assumes Sonya is jealous of him because he has the marking, and then he taunts her, if you want it so badly, all you have to do is kill me. Wow, that was pretty fast. Sonya holds Kano at knife point. Go ahead then, take it. She doesn't really care, and they keep pushing on, and eventually they come across someone, and of course Kano's first impulse is to skin him. But so yes, this is Liu Kang, MK's golden child and resident Bruce Lee stan. Sonya introduces the group, but Kano is still stunned since you just blasted a fireball out of your palm. Liu Kang informs the group that they must practice and brings him to a holy temple. The monarch declares that the temple has been a sacred site for educating Mortal Kombat ants for thousands of years, and then proceeds to create a door appear out of nothing. Inside the temple, they are met by antique paintings and monks, and there is even a portrait of Shao Kahn. Sonya observes that portraying the most terrible and murderous of all kingdoms. Sonya investigates strange sounds coming from another room and finds Mike Tyso, Jax, or what's left of him. By the time I found Jax I was too late. Kank says the monks are doing their best to heal them, but they need time. He must go. He awaits. Raiden looks at the champions and is disappointed with what he has. Then he proceeds to roast him one by one. Raiden emphasizes that they only have one chance before Outworld enslaves the entire human race and calls insisting Raiden helps him train despite being a pathetic sack of weasels. And Raiden says they're going to die. Well, I'm willing to die for my family, and takes their offer for training. But in some other room, Liu Kang senses something is coming and shoots out a fireball. Zero sidesteps just as he's about to stab Luke. Miss Blade, but I'd suggest the training grounds for the selected ones. Sonya reassures him, but Jax looks at his metal arms. It's okay, and the training montage begins, and it turns out Kung Lao's hat is not only bladed but as tanky as a shield too. Kung Lao defeats Cole, and of course Kano spits on Cole for that fight. Up next is Liu Kang versus Kano, and Kano doesn't learn to either block low or dodge at the right. Blah 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 whatever, it's dinner time, and Kano is beating on Jax for looking like a reverse charger from Left 4 Dead. Aren't you Kano meant to be the CEO of racism? Yes, siree. You want an egg roll from Kung Pao Chicken, but we're back in the training area now so that Cole may learn his arcana. Kano knocks him up for pleasure, but for Cole, this is training. Liu King mentions that Cole isn't finding his arcana during the training session, so he looks at his phone, then at photographs of his wife and kid. Sonya joins him as the liability crew, and Raiden notes that you have failed to discover the arcana without your obligation to the others. Colvin wonders why he has this marking from birth. Raiden explains that it is because he is a descendant of Pod Champ Ninja Hanzo Asashi. Holy God, what's the script going to? Raiden adds that Sub-Zero was the one responsible for murdering Hanzo and sending him to the Netherworld, the furthest realms of hell. Raiden is then dissatisfied, despite the fact that Cole is a descendant of Hanzo, so he opens a portal for Cole to be with his family again. Sonya tells him not to give up, so Cole gives up. In Outworld, the Dark Souls guy is beginning to rally his troops to take over the Earth realm. The sorcerer then gives a pep talk to the Outworld. With the addition of Cabal the Bane guy and General Raiko the Shao Kahn simp are excellent reinforcements to his army, therefore victory is near. He claims that he must raid and shield down, but the Cabal has a plan. Yeah, he's the reason I live in an iron lung. Just as Vader is hatching a plan for Kano, a notorious beat I.G enters the room on his way back to Raiden's home base, and Kano is seen loitering around. No, Luke, I'm your father. Nah, it's a wrong movie. So Cabal talks to Kano at the shield's edge. Cabal, essentially girl boss Gaslight Gate, keeps Kano Time to be a subordinate. This is Prince Goro. Cole attempts to create a family retreat, but he is tossed away like a used condom. Goro attempts to go after Cole's family, but is teased by Cole to go into the garage, where Cole prepares himself with a crowbar for battle royale time. The God of Hammers versus Jax, Rico, Darth Vader versus martial law, and Cole with a rusted crowbar against Goro the Shogun Prince. Both Jax and Cole are getting their tushies handed to them. Oh boy, both of them can do that kiss of death fatality, so I'm excited for this one. Eventually Melina does her X-ray attack and stabs Sonya, throwing her in the area that Kung Lao says she's not allowed, and Melina gets on top of her, and oh boy, it gets steamy. Your death has no worth. While Kung Lao tips his fedora for the sorcerer summons Nadera to kill Kung Lao. And that's what you get for being on the Armageddon roster. Back at Cole, he still couldn't tech grabs to save his life, but this Mortal Kombat featured tech and tag mechanics. Cole's family flees in their truck, but Goro catches up and is about to curb stomp Cole's wife. Out the power of love, the best writer's convenience, he runs over to Goro and Cole charges again, dislocating one of Goro's arms and actually knocking him down. Goro throws Cole again and then snaps his arms back into place. Dual One's rock. Cole takes a lot of blows, half of which he blocks, thank goodness, and the other half he absorbs since his armor is so BS that it blocks the attacks for him. Goro goes full charge and knocks back Cole. Ed Boon suddenly decided Cole wasn't BS enough, so he buffs him with two bladed tonfas. Afterwards he cuts off Goro's hands and easily slices and dices them. That's pretty broken, to be honest. Back at the temple, Jax wakes up, and this time with the power of friendship he manages to get his Arcana, which is in the form of Cybertroni, and arms Raiden finally arrives. He regardless, Cole is knocked off the teleporting by Sub-Zero Snowball, and Kung Lao fenced Sub-Zero off. Oh, he screams, and Liu Kang hears it, so he makes Cabal piss off. Down into the potty hole he goes. They couldn't really do anything about it, so Cole drags Liu Kang back and they're teleported out of there by Raiden. Raiden gives Cole a menstruated kunai of Hanzo Asashi, saying that it might give him strength or something, and Cole has the brilliant idea of splitting the enemies up so that it can be 1 vs 1. Jax takes Reiku on the PewDiePie bridge. Sonya gets the girl boss Kano at her own home. Liu and Colt takes Bad Breath Lady and Vader to the statue of Shao Kahn. Sub-Zero saved for last, so Liu Kang. Cold disarms Molina as Liu Kang attempts to kill him off. Molina goes full Tarkatan. She then charges that Cole, but Sonya and the Legend of the Ten Rings appear to rescue the day at an inconsequential location. Cole's family packs away, but not before being ambushed by Sub-Zero, who suddenly appears in front of Sonya and Cole, only to freeze the bracelet that Cole's daughter is wearing. Calvin goes to apprehend Novice Saiba, but is transported to his former gym, which now resembles Elsa's BDSM dungeon. Cole is enraged and rushes with his tonfas blazing with rage, but Sub-Zero creates some ice and promptly screws him over. He's tossed in the octagon, and Sub-Zero freezes him while his family is also frozen in the octagon. Calvin draws Hanzo's kunai and attempts to slash Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero turns it against him, but Cole stops the blade with his hands, causing it to catch fire. Sub-Zero fears Hanzo will return, so he immediately tries to step Cole. Get over here, I told you, he says at round 1. Hanzo and Sub-Zero clash with their swords, slashing. Hanzo gains the upper hand by stabbing Zero with his kunai. This also recoils his katana back to him. It's a better name, to be honest. Of course I knew it all along. The sorcerer is Shang Tsung, and Sub-Zero should honestly be Noob Saibat since he's evil. Round 2 begins, and while they're making blades fly, Cole is weakened by Sub-Ice Zeros, but that doesn't stop him from punching the ice off his family. Meanwhile, Sub-Zero constructs a spiky ice wall and hurls Scorpions at it. Scorpion recovers and crosses blades again, but misses Sub-Zero temperature. Sub-Zero tangles it around him, but Scorpion throws him with the chains. And now final round fight. Sub-Zero begins this round with a low blow by throwing ice daggers at Cole and his frozen family, so Cole and Scorpion stand together. This is now more of a Guilty Gear boss match as Cole and Scorpion have great synergy against Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is thrown off and removes his armor, but he frees the Scorpion and fights. Scorpion throws a fastball, which is deflected by Cole back to him, and then Scorpion smashes him. Cole freezes his family, and the Scorpion informs him about his voyage to hell, so end him. Scorpion wins fatality, then urges Cole to protect the lineage before warping back to the nether dimension in a flaming way. Of course, the group arrives fashionably late, and Liu Kang warns Cole's family. Raiden is also pleased by Cole, but he's already told you that. Shang Tsung adds death is just another gateway, and I'm fairly sure it's a presage of Noob Saibot since Subcorpse Zeros is coated in smoke. The following day arrives, and the old code provides another 200 for Colt to battle. Cole bids goodbye, and the camera zooms in on a poster of Johnny Cage. This is where the film concludes, and it has been. Mortal Kombat will be released in 2021 by New Line Cinemas. What did you suppose I didn't know? I've been playing since Game Gear and Genesis. Tell us about your Mortal Kombat experience with the #FilmReview. Remember to like and subscribe for more big and nasty movie reviews. Till the next time.